This is a series of 4 little short stories here on this video. Our first story is called The Green Machine, My First Tape Recorder. I must have got it for a birthday, maybe a Christmas. I really don't remember which event it was. Uh, I'm going to say probably a birthday. I got me a little bitty tape recorder. It wasn't really big, you know, but it had a reel to reel, and of course you had, I think, probably had more than one tapes, but it was green, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing with that tape recorder. So me and Ronnie and maybe one of my other cousins and stuff, there would be 3 or 4 of us get together, and we love to make little on-air little skits, I guess you could call them. We make noise, like footsteps. You'd make, or a creaking door. You make the sound of a creaking door. So we make up a little story, and we talk in the microphone and record ourselves and using these sound effects. Would love to do that. Another thing I think I like to do is whenever my parents would have company over, I would sneak my tape recorder and put it like behind the couch, and I would secretly record their conversations. I don't know, guess because I could do it. I don't know. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. I kind of wish I still had that little tape recorder. It was kind of a good little toy to play with. I really don't know whatever happened to that. I'd like to know. My second story is called The 80's Super Slide, Fun and Ouch. Well, in Odessa, there was a place that they had one of these big, huge super slides. It was really tall, and you'd go down that super slide. I remember going down that thing, and down there when I get down to the bottom, I literally hit one of these where it must have come up a little bit or something. I went airborne, flying through the air, and I came down on my tailbone. That really did hurt. And I said, no more super slide for Kenny. And Shelly also had the same experience that I did on that super slide. So I wonder how many tailbones there were in Odessa that got hurt off of that silly thing. I'm sure someone probably got hurt at some point, because I don't think they were there forever. And this next story is called San Jacinto Surprise, a fly's unwelcome drop-in. This one occurred while I was in elementary school. I'm not sure what age I was, but could be 4th, 5th, 6th grade. I really don't remember the grade. But they had a park next to the school. In that park, I guess this is one of our PE things we had to run. So I'm running up and down, running back and forth in this park. And, once you get huffing and puffing after running a while, on one of my huffs, and a fly went straight in my mouth. Now, that's nasty, right? Of course, I freaked out and I spat that fly out as fast as I could. Now, what are the odds of that happening? I've only had that happen once in my life. How many years? So it's a pretty rare occurrence. And I was thinking, what would the fly story be? So I wrote the story of the fly based on his observations, or her. What's a fly? Anyway, here's what the fly said. One day, I was just flying along, minding my own business, when suddenly everything went dark. And I was covered in something wet and slimy. Then suddenly, I was flying at great speed with this slime trailing behind me. Then I hit the ground with a splat. And that was that. That's the end of that story. My last story is called Punching Keys and Arms, My Typewriting Class Days. Well, when I was going to Odessa High School, one of the classes that I took, and I'll let you know that this class was probably, I don't know, the class that I learned something that I used through my entire life. So it was actually beneficial to me. And so typing class, you got these back then, it was like the late 60s, like 1969, maybe 70, when I took this typing class. And they had these mechanical typewriters. Back then, it was just a clunky, things on the deal, and you'd have to, once you get to the end of the sentence, you'd have to flip the thing over to the side and start typing your next line. So it made a lot of clackety-clack noises as you type. So the keys, if I remember right, the keys didn't have no letters on them at all. You couldn't see what the letters are. So you had to learn by, you had to learn without looking. I got to the point, I could type 32 words a minute. That's pretty decent. Anyway, but to add a little flavor to this story is the guy sitting next to me was one of the friends I run around with. His name was Terry Wooten. I don't know whatever happened to you, Terry, but if you ever hear this, you probably remember this also. Well, Terry, he's sitting right over here to my right. So he's same class, same typewriters. He's trying to learn too. But Terry had a bad habit. Every time he'd make a mistake, he would slug me in my arm. Boom! Well, Terry makes more than one mistake in a class period. So I had bruises in my arm, big time. For some reason, I remember not just in typing class, but outside of class, I guess we like to hit each other in the arm. I remember doing that more than once. I guess that was a thing to do during those days. I don't know. Anyway, that was quite an experience. So can you imagine trying to learn to type and the guy next to you, he could be hitting you in the arm any minute, more than once during the class, because he made a mistake. Kind of rough kind of atmosphere to learn how to type, what you say? Anyway, that's the end of the typing story.